Hello, Venkat. Good morning. Go ahead and introduce yourself and start, and then I'll start myself. Okay.
Hey, thanks, Ganesh. Good morning, Ganesh, and good evening, everyone in India. My name is Venkat. I represent BigTap, and along with Ganesh from ConverSight, today we are going to, in the next 1 hour, we are going to talk about how conversational AI is going to help us in terms of gaining visibility and control of cash flow. So that is the topic of this webinar. My name is Venkat. As I said, I represent BigTap. I take care of products and partnerships in BigTap. So this is how we intend going about doing. After the introductions, we'll have a context setting, which I'll do for about 10 minutes, and then I'll hand it over to Ganesh, who will take you through the demo of ConverSight, the product, and how it helps in terms of doing the cash flow management. Then we can have a Q&A. Both me and Ganesh will handle the questions. So Ganesh, if you can go to the next slide. So before I set the context, I just want to give a brief about BigTap. BigTap is an 8-year-old company. We are headquartered in Singapore. We are a big data analytics company. We are headquartered in Singapore. We have our development center in Chennai. We have our other office in KL. We are both into products as well as services. We provide data engineering and data science solutions for customers in various industries and for various use cases. It can be customer-centric use case, it can be operation-centric use case, or it can be a employee-centric use case. So anything which deals with data engineering and data science, we are there. Towards that, we have key partnerships with leading players in the data and analytics space, and you would see many big names there and many known names there. ConverSight is our partner in that space, and we work with ConverSight. We are their system integrators. Together, we provide solutions in Asia, US, and India for various customers and various use cases. As I said, we have our own products as well. On the right-hand side of the screen, you will see our IPs. These are part of our big data platform, what we have, which we take to customers. We are seen as a thought leader in the data analytics space. We have quite a bit of recognition and thought leadership in this space. So you will see some select industry recognitions as well at the bottom of the screen. So with this brief about BigTap, so we want to see what we are going to do. The next 45 minutes, we are going to take you through. We're going to have a discussion as to how conversational AI helps in cash flow visibility and cash flow control. So that is what is the topic of this webinar. See, you would all agree that cash flow management is a very, very crucial activity in every organization. Okay, it is perhaps the most crucial activity in every organization. It has become even more critical, even more crucial in the current context. In the current context where we are facing severe uncertainties everywhere. So cash flow has become an extreme challenge, and everybody would like to manage cash flow. So what was a more scripted monthly exercise as a cash flow management, as looking at dashboards, it has become far more ad hoc, far more frequent today. So there are a lot of other external factors which they have to factor in, which otherwise in the normal context they won't have encountered those. So considering all these things, we were trying to put together a solution, AI-based solution, conversational AI-based solution, to see how we can address this particular requirement. Previous slide, Ganesh. So Ganesh, if you can go to previous slide. Yeah. So in a traditional sense, cash management is no brainer, right? It is a standard balancing act between possible receipts and committed payments and the cash available in the banks. The way you balance that, I mean, you will get your cash management. It is nothing, it's a no-brainer. Everybody is doing it on a day in and day out basis. But that is simple only if the window of planning is very short. if you are doing for a very, very short window of planning, or if your cash flow planning is more an operational cash flow planning, this kind of a three-element balancing is relevant. But as the window keeps on, as it opens further, if you start looking at more into strategic planning from an operational planning, and more from the initial 1 week or 10 days of planning to probably 3 months of planning and further down, then more and more factors come into play. It's not as simple as you said. There are a lot of other data points that come into picture, both internal and external. So next slide. So this is what I was talking about. So I have just broken this into 4 windows actually. If you are talking about a current day window, the only data point you might want to look at bank data or historical bank data, where you want to do some historical trend analysis of your cash availability and your cash movement, your cash inflow and cash outflow. But even if you are opening the window a little bit more than current day into next 15 days perhaps, okay, apart from the bank data, you have to start getting the data from AR and AP, which will give you the receipts, which will give you the payments. Not only that, you might also have to look at your payroll information, which probably might come from a different system. If you are doing the payroll within your own organization, there is a very high possibility that the payroll might be handled by a third party or an external agency, in which case you have to get that data from that person. So that is just about a 15-day window. So you're talking about your bank data, your AR, AP, and the payroll information. So that is still operational. If you still expand the horizon from 15 days to next 90 days planning, cash flow planning, then there is so many other data elements that come into picture. It's just not about the receipts, it's just not about the payments. You also have to look at your pipeline. What are the likely orders which are likely to come, which probably might bring in some additional cash. You might want to look at so that information probably might have to come from your CRM system if you have one, or from some other system. So it is just not an AR and AP information alone and a payroll information alone. Then you are talking about a sales information which is coming into picture. That is more in the receipt part. On the payments part, or if you want to optimize your supply chain, if you want to do some corrections in your inventory, you do some corrections in your suppliers, then you have to look at your supply chain systems as well. So you have to get some information from CRM, you have to get information from supply chain, you have to get information from your AR and AP, your bank, your payroll. You just saw within your own internal systems, there are so many other systems that come into play when you're opening the window from 15 days to 90 days. Now start looking at other external factors adding into this. It is your financing options. So what are the financing options that is available if you feel your cash might be inadequate? So are you going to borrow from the bank, or are there some short-term borrowings which you are factoring in? So that information will have to come. Now, when you start looking at beyond 90 days, it becomes totally strategic. All this while, there is an element of operational activity involved. And as you move this window from current day to 90 days and beyond 90 days, it becomes more and more, less and less operational, more and more strategic. And beyond 90 days, it becomes extremely strategic, where apart from looking at your transaction systems like bank, AR, AP, payroll, CRM, and other things, you also have to factor in for long-term debt, equity financing, and all those other things come into picture. You have to factor in for whether I want to add a branch, I want to knock off a particular warehouse. All those factors come into picture because you are looking at the long-term planning of a particular organization based on how the industry is moving, how a particular country is faring, and all those kind of stuff. See, all these things are in a normal situation where you can still go ahead and look at the past and start looking and do some planning at the future. But in a situation today, looking at the past and deciding on the future is also becoming very, very difficult, because who thought 6 months ago, okay, there were few industries, those industries are not relevant for next 12 months today. I mean, you are talking about the travel and transportation industry, you don't even know what's going to happen to that industry. Hospitality industry, which was existing significantly about 6 months ago, is in a shape we are not even sure how it's going to turn out in the next 3 months or something like that. So how do we get those factors into play? So all these things come into the picture when it comes to your cash flow planning. So as the window of planning opens out further and further, the planning complexity increases. And now you might be wondering, see, we were all doing cash flow planning on Excel. So what is different? Why do you require an external system in the first place other than Excel? If your cash flow planning is very, very short term and a short window planning, only operational planning, your Excel is good enough. Or people might be wondering, I have ERP system, I have an SAP, I have an Oracle, I have a JD Edwards, I have something else. Okay, the ERP systems themselves give some cash flow planning, and why do I require an external planning? Or I have a BI solution on top of ERP today. I use some BI tools, which gives me some dashboards today. But still, if you really look at it, they are able to give primarily descriptive analytics answers for the questions of what. If you look at the right side of the screen, these are some of the what questions which on a daily basis people are looking at today. Do I have enough money for salaries for next few months? Do I have enough money to pay my creditors on time? What are my receivables across various dimensions such as customer, business unit, customer, project, salesman, etc.? What are the critical payments that are required to continue operations without any challenges? If you really look at all these things, they are still what questions, isn't it? Okay, these are the what questions are today answered by most of the systems what you have today. The systems like your Excel sheets what you have, or your ERP systems, or even some basic BI solutions which you have, where you extract data from this ERP solutions and have a BI. These questions are answered. It is more a descriptive analytics what you have. But what current day CEOs and CFOs probably are interested is just not what, but what if. What if my payment from some of the my receipts from some of the customers whom I thought would come get challenged because they have a direct impact because of this COVID situation, or they have an indirect impact because of this COVID situation. And if it's going to, what if that receipt is impacted, okay, how can I balance my payment to make sure that I have cash on hand? Which are the payments I can stagger based on the receipts which are likely to come or not likely to come? Still, I have enough cash on hand to tide over next 90 days or tide over next 120 days and things like that. Okay, some of these what if questions we are talking about. Okay, some of the what if questions, if you are talking about a direct impact, probably you might still have a visibility of direct impact. For example, if you are in your receivables, you have to get payment from probably an airline, or probably from a hospitality industry, or from a travel industry, or if your customer is any of these industries, you have your probability of collections from these companies automatically go low. So even if your receivables show about $4 million, probably you can't count the entire $4 million. So the probability of those goes low, and your receivables probably comes down from $4 million to probably $2 million. Whereas your payments are $2.5 million or $3 million as of now. But what are those payments which will not reworking on the contracts with those vendors and those suppliers, you can rework those payments and it will not impact your day-to-day operations and things like that. I'm not even talking about some direct. So these are some direct customers. What if there are some customers who are not directly impacted, but again, their customers have impacted, because of which your customers are impacted, because of which you are impacted? Because that is a chain. For example, you are working with a textile company, and the textile company is into garments, garment manufacturing, and a textile and garment manufacturing, and you are supplying it to them, and they are supposed to pay you, and their customer is in Italy or France, one of the well-known fashion retail establishment. The last 3 months, those fashion retail establishments, they might have put on hold the orders to your customer, and in turn your customer will cut down, right? So the whole chain gets impacted. So these what if questions, it is not only the question of what if, it is a question of whether the data points what we have within the organization, the data points what we are talking about here, like your AR, AP, payroll, CRM, supply chain, all those data points which are from your own ERP system and your own enterprise, okay, is it good enough to do planning? should we have some external data that should be coming in? Should we take some external inputs and external data, then put them all together, and then come with an insight? Okay, so is there a way by which solution can bring in some external data points here? So that is where organization like BigTap come in, because we work only on those kind of use cases, not only on the internal data. We take internal data as well as external data. Then we come up with some interesting insights for organizations. So to summarize, it is, if it is just a what question which people are likely to answer, the current systems will do. But people need a what if kind of an answer to what if kind of question. It is not descriptive analytics anymore. It is recommendation. People are looking for a recommendatory analytics, or prescriptive analytics from the software. So that is where AI comes into picture. So to answer the question as to why AI, this is the answer, right? Because it is just not descriptive analytics anymore. It is prescriptive and recommendation. That's why AI comes into picture. Now to answer a question, how does a conversational AI help? Then I leave it to the master here, like Ganesh can take over from here, who can actually answer why conversational AI and how conversational AI helps in this dynamic situation. Over to you, Ganesh.
Yeah, thank you, Venkat. So, based on all Venkat you said, I understood two things. One is the window is too short. Whatever I had, all my historical reports and all that for every month I was looking at. Now I need to look at weekly. Then whatever I was looking at weekly, I'm looking at daily. And second, you said the data is going to come from multiple systems. Yeah, absolutely. The ERP systems, CRMs, multiple ERPs sometimes. One on the financial side, another on the CRM side, supply chain side, and warehouse management system in some relevant organizations in a supply chain space. Plus, in fact, recently we are working with many companies in the supply chain, in the financial world, that COVID indicators are becoming very, very critical, especially businesses who are in the essentials. The demand fluctuate. A customer who was like suddenly increased 600% demand, and next 2 weeks later they were like 100% decrease. So it's all happening with the COVID indicator. So we have to look at the COVID indicator and some customer supplier data. So this all that's kind of what I understood from Venkat. Now let's deep dive 1 minute. Okay, what is that? It's a lot of screens, isn't it? If in our current systems, it's just a lot of screens or a lot of Excels. I'm sure most of you feel like me also, like we have a lot of systems, a lot of screens, a lot of charts. And I always feel like, is there somebody, okay, for payroll, oh, here are set of reports. For, okay, how much inventory we have set of reports. And the, aging, my AR aging, another report, right? Reports, a lot of reports. And I was with a senior executive last week. They suddenly identified a particular payment delayed. And the leadership team got to know about 2 weeks after it was known to someone in the organization. It was not so easy because that made into a report, another report, and over multiple people. That manual process is really an issue. And because of that, as that leader I was talking to, like 2 weeks back, we knew that this payment is not going to come, and no one told us. That was a surprise. So why are we having a surprise today? We had 2 weeks, but just because that information was not available, not visible, is a problem, right? So that's, especially when you have too many systems, a lot of reports, and very manual reactive process, timely decisions are in question. So we all need help. Who can help? That's where we are bringing the AI system, Athena. So think of Athena as a smart employee in our company, and Athena as an AI engine in a person, Athena can connect to various different systems, as we were talking about. A lot of those internal systems, multiple different systems, like be it Salesforce to your ERP and your demand planning systems, financials, all that. And then on the other side, team from Venkat, BigTap, they bring the external data in some format. Can a person intelligently connect to all that data? Number one. Number two, can that AI person analyze the data? Because smart. Analyze the data, which whatever you call all kind of algorithms. And can Athena come and tell me that, Ganesh, you have an AR problem. You have a lot of overdues, which was historically your 45-day overdue is 55 lakh, $55 million, but now it's suddenly increasing. Can, without me opening a report, opening an Excel, or asking somebody, and that's very common, I believe, right? For most of us, we have somebody within some team that, can you give me the year balance report for last 1 month, 2 months compared to last year? We ask somebody. Can that somebody be Athena? Can Athena be ready in the morning for me after connecting all those systems? And boss, here is the information. That's what an AI system could do to start with. The proactive insights and possibly start giving recommendations, which is, by the way, all included, like forecasting, Whatif, as Venkat was telling. And how cool it will be if that person is not just a system where I need to go figure out how to, or the person is not on another screen, that AI person. Is there a way that conversational AI person, my companion, Athena, can Athena speak to me? Can I speak to Athena? Can I chat with Athena? That's where conversational AI is coming in. As a CEO, CFO, and supply chain leaders, all of us have our own job to do. We are not expected, the ERPs are not going to manage the cash flow and the business themselves. We need to make decisions. For that, we need help. So that is where Athena is coming in. So introducing Athena, I'm sharing my mobile screen, and here we go. Okay. I'll open ConverSight.
Hello, Ganesh. I have found some interesting insights for you. There are 829 delinquent sales order items. There are 1.1K delinquent purchase order items. We are holding 701.3K inventory in main group. This is above the threshold of 700.0K. There are 8 sales orders with high priority, 10 for this month. There are 126 customers with more than 1,000,000 overdue. Overdue payments are increased by 48% in May. Margin percent has been reduced by 2% in current month. There is 4.39 rupees under-delivered but not yet invoiced. On-hand inventory increased by 300% during May 2020. Review and reduce payment terms for Candy Club and Hiab USA. Review, 26 vendors have less than 45 days payment terms.
So what you just saw is Athena talking. And if you see one thing, if you notice in that context, I initially got some operational metrics about orders, invoices, and slowly moved in. Okay, now CRM data is covered. Then slowly moved in to the invoicing. Orders which are delivered but not invoiced. Okay, I'm sure most of the financial organizations as companies, like we all count the invoice. When the invoice is delivered, we count the payment term, and we all hard negotiate those payment terms with our customers. 30 days, 45 days. And we are all today really looking at how to talk to those customers to get the money quickly, and talk to the suppliers. And is there a way we can, delay it, as Athena is telling that I have 26 vendors, where I can probably need to figure out a better payment term. But do you have a metric quickly that how many orders were delivered but not invoiced? Okay, if that metric's in control, how many back orders we have? Every day is critical in this cash flow today, as we all know. Is there a way an AI companion like Athena can connect you to your inventory, your supply systems? Any delay, identify. The reason we started this with a delinquent purchase orders, it's going to impact your cash flow. A delinquent purchase order, which is delayed, is going to impact some process in the manufacturing or in your process, and it's going to impact some process on sales. So there are delinquent sales orders. Okay, I have delinquent sales orders, and then it's going to delay my invoicing and then delivery. Even after I deliver, if I have problems, if I have even a 2-day, 3-day window from the time I'm delivering and invoicing, there is another set of delay. Okay, now I have invoiced, and how customers are paying, how much overdue payment I have, right? As you have seen, Athena was showing me all those different metrics, like how much AR is growing, right? All these are available for me as like a news. And morning, I'm on my way to office, getting ready to office. Can somebody tell me? We all have many channels to hear, understand about what's happening in the world. A lot of metrics, a lot of news. Can we get such a news from our own internal and external systems, like Venkat was mentioning? And by the way, that is really critical today with the timeline what we have for the decision. We need to quickly make a decision. We no longer can wait for weekly, monthly dashboards prepared by somebody, either in the IT team or within the business team, and put together an Excel. No, we don't have time. We're working with a large a distributor. The typical forecast process was kind of like 2 weeks cycle, and accuracy is still 30%. And they said, no, this is not acceptable. This is what the CEO said. Cannot be. With this accuracy, with this market, and with this much cash in hand, no, we can't. That accuracy is not good. So we need help. What can you do? Right? We can create a couple of more Excels. We can create a couple of more reports. But who's going to run that report? Who's going to run that report every day, analyzing it? We need help, and that's where Athena is coming in. So now that you have seen some of the metrics Athena proactively sharing us, right? And Athena also creates a dashboard. So to show you that experience, I'm going to show you a little bit. This is more of show you how it worked behind the scene. It's no way it will be, I can't do that in 2 minutes, but I'm going to show you how it happened. Like once we connect all the different systems, right? when we start doing modeling, these are all the things happen. I know for many of you, this may be a little bit technology, but first step, we need to analyze the data, analyze the inventory, the supply chain, a lot of that stuff. And then we need to start, not just today, as Venkat said, what is going to happen, the prediction based on your sales, demand variability, all that. And then it depends on whether it is supply chain, whether it is different model, we need to apply specific models and create this one. It may be very simple, like, oh, Athena, okay, in mobile, Athena coming and talking to me. But what happened just behind that? I want to show you that depth of requirement, what we need to analyze and do it. Connecting with multiple different systems and taking all the data and making a meaning out of it. In a short-term cash flow, as Venkat mentioned, it's so easy to figure out, okay, how much is cash in, cash out, easy, bank data, AR, AP is taken care. But a customer who was giving 90 orders every week, suddenly giving 30 orders. Are we going to wait for 6 weeks later to find out, oh, my cash is coming down because of that, or the customer is not giving enough orders? Or do we want today proactively figure out, oh, there is an erosion? So who's identifying that erosion in our companies right now? Unless we ask, I think, some larger companies can have, dedicated data scientists and working on lot of systems, 1 or 2 people, but you have like 5,000 leaders who are making decisions every minute. So how are you going to get that? Can you have your own data scientist in your pocket, like what I was showing, the Athena? So now Athena is in my pocket. I'm now started analyzing. Athena is analyzing for me every day what data is coming in. Now, once the data is there, I can run all kind of algorithm simulation to figure out what will happen and provide that. And at the end of it, I'm going to do a little bit more deep dive demo, but at the end of it, what's going to happen is various reports. You have, okay, how the sales and inventory is going, how the sales is going, how the AR, AP, I'll get into some of those. And a lot of that, various different metrics and all that you can play around. And most importantly, you can talk to Athena. You can just ask questions. That's what we'll do in a minute. You can just ask questions like Athena as your employee. That's many of our customers mention. So we do see a couple of questions. So before I get into the demo as a next step, we'll take some questions. So I see one question. What are all the systems can ConverSight connect with? ConverSight, from ConverSight, we can connect with multiple different systems, any different ERP systems. We have overall connected with 17 different systems to start with, which include larger ERP systems, larger CRM systems, name it, and any data warehouse or data lakes or Excel data, both on cloud, on-premise data we can connect. We have worked with team with BigTap, where they can bring some external, the customer and supplier sensing data, and we can read that too. It's multiple different systems we can read and promote, analyze the data and provide. So let's look at that in action. I want to show you the behind the scene, how it happened. Let me log into ConverSight. So I'm doing it in a laptop, so it's easy for all of you to take a look at it in a big screen. All those metrics, what you saw when I was when Athena was reading out to me, all that information is available. Okay, so Athena is telling I need to really look at the payment for Candy Hub. Okay, let's look at what's happening, right? So AR detail. Okay, so you look at it. There's a lot of overdue primarily on the above 90 days. That's what driving that one metric, as you can look at it, right? So two things happen. If you see, one, Athena brought me some updates, very high level. But okay, why? The immediate question is why? Why do I need to look at it? And you have data behind that, and it's filtered for you. And I'm sure a lot of people will be thinking, oh, who created this? Athena created this. That's the power. That's the power of AI. How Athena knows that I'm looking at this? Your employee. Athena's your employee. You come and ask Athena every day about AR report. What is there in AR report is balance, an AR balance. And you are looking at AR balance every day. Athena knows now AR balance is a critical metric, a business critical metric for Venkat. And now Athena will start monitoring that particular metric, right? And there are additional dashboards. Okay, this is the key metric. Okay, cash flow, cash on hand is a critical metric. You have a dashboard. This dashboard is not created, team. It's not created by a developer. It's not created by an IT person. You can just ask cash on hand and put this, or use what Athena's predefined dashboard. Cash on hand, how much is coming in, how much is going out, what's overdue, all that information. And look at that AR and AP, how nice and easy where, this particular customers where AP payments, I think it look like kind of a little bit okay, but AP payments we have delayed. That's pretty good, right? So you can kind of analyze that. Yeah, it's a little bit up and side, but I think overall still in good control. But more and more I can see this is a little bit of a problem curve where I'm started paying quickly, right? So this curve, I don't want this curve to go below and this curve to also to come down. I think I can see a little bit that traction. What is next? That what is future, right? That's where we need to go. And two things we can happen. Oh, okay, now this is how it's going, but is this how it's going to go next? For that, what I need is how much I need to go back all those others, right? For which customers I can negotiate the payment term, or which suppliers I can negotiate the payment terms, or are there invoices, or there orders which we have delivered before, which can be invoiced quickly, right? That all kind of that we can look at it, right? For that, for example, let me show you something on COVID. Total bills created. This is an interesting metric. I'll tell you, I don't know how many of, I'm sure everyone has an ERP system or some invoicing system. Have you looked at this particular metric? Have you looked at how many bills were created in the last 3 years? And especially from working from home factor added, especially from your customers, suppliers, everybody from remote, every small dispute, every small clarification in your supply chain, in your, in your billing process takes more time. How many bills were done in the month of March and April, COVID, and you can expand to May and June now. How that was in 2019, how that is in 2020. How is that in 2020? Is productivity reducing? Can you look at all that? How many lines we have created over a period of time, right? Compared to the same months. And look at how the productivity was. This one was number of vendor bills created between March to April, nice and easy increasing, but you can see that that's a big decrease. Is it productivity problem because we have working from home and all that? Or is it because we are not able to? Out of this drop in April, most of the companies still was, these invoices were supposed to be the invoices from the prior month, delivery from prior month. What is causing that delay? Is it our team not creating it, or vendor not sending it? Are we not ready for invoicing? So, by the way, if you really look at, you can see compare spend April. This a question you can just ask. Compare my spend over last 12 months, and you can ask and get this. These are all Athena pinned report, but Athena is your employee, not an IT person, as I mentioned. So that's kind of how it works. So that's the second portion. Now, insights as a news in the voice, in my mobile, you saw that first. Second, some dashboard. We are not missing those dashboard even in the conversational AI world. There are multiple dashboards, but the only difference is these dashboards are created by the AI system. That's a major difference. You have multiple different dashboards from a sales. Okay, the moment cash flow is taken care, okay, I had a discussion this morning and with my CEO, CFO, everybody is good, but I am a supply chain leader. And all I need to make sure is how my inventory and how much inventory I'm having, and how do I optimize that, and which group I have a problem on margin. Is there a way I can take this? Okay, margin is so negative on tooling. Why? Can I drill? Can I go detail? Can I look at that data in an Excel? Most importantly, can I share with somebody? Those are all the questions going to come. All that, look at here. You can just share with somebody in your organization, choose that organization and just start moving after that. So that's kind of how you can, continue to work. So I know we have a couple of questions. So as it is cloud, is my data secure with ConverSight? Yes, we are working with a number of companies, very large automotive, large insurance, multiple companies. Data security is utmost priority. We have various different audits. The data can be in your premise. It's only that the conversational engine is kind of hitting that. The data is like encrypted, secured, all those different things. And honestly, not getting into the technology discussion now, but it's a lot more faster and quicker. This is a question, Venkat, maybe if you like to answer. So do you connect with Oracle ERPs and QuickBooks? And what is the size of the company it can work with? Maybe if you can just share a little bit on your, company, what kind of your customer profile, Venkat. Would love to chat a little bit.
See, we work with both really large enterprise class customers as well as small and medium. See, the small and medium is a relative term. Okay, what is small and medium in the US might not be small and medium in India, and they might be different. So to answer your question, we can work both with large enterprises as well as small and medium enterprises. We can connect with Oracle ERP. It is like any other ERP, like 17 different ERPs which he was talking about, which Ganesh was talking about. Oracle ERP or Oracle E-Business Suite is one such ERP, which we can do. So the kind of organizations we have worked with organization which is into Fortune 100 kind class customers. We are into organization which has about in typical Indian context about 400 crores, 500 crores, 300 crores kind of organization as well. So just to give, and all industries, we have worked with manufacturing industries, we have worked with service industries, we have worked extensively with banks, we have worked with insurance companies, we have worked with other financial services companies, we have worked with hotels, we have worked with hospitals, we have worked with pharma, healthcare. I mean, we have worked with a variety of industries and things like that. There is one more question here which was pretty interesting. Isn't this similar to Power BI, which can automatically generate insights based on data that is fed into the system? Probably Ganesh can explain this better. The classic difference is the traditional Power BI or any other systems which you are talking about is, again, as I was talking, is more a descriptive analytics solution. Okay, it is here we are talking one level further. Okay, of course, today more and more customers, more and more software are getting into natural language querying and things like that. Yeah, that is one of the features definitely which we are bringing to a table out here. But what we are trying to tell one more step ahead is this is a recommendatory system. So to give a classic example, as I was talking about, there are two types of recommendations you can make. One with the internal data, what is available in your own organization. For example, if as I was talking, if there is a receipt which is likely to get delayed, an AR which is likely to get delayed by certain customers, is there the system can throw up a recommendation, Athena can throw up a recommendation and give you saying that, please, these are some 5 different payments probably you can delay, okay, which without impacting your production or your operations, so that your cash can be still managed even if these receivables are a problem. See, that kind of recommendations not many systems give. Power BI and other things are beautiful tools from a pure visualization and BI perspective. We are just not looking at a business intelligence. This is much beyond business intelligence into artificial intelligence and going that recommendation. And the best part about the whole thing, which I probably missed out explaining to you, is if you are connecting to, let me complete this. I was talking about if it is a recommendation only looking at your internal data, this is the recommendation. Now look at getting an external data and getting a recommendation. For example, as I was talking, there might be about 3 customers or 4 customers in your own S1. They might be falling into a typical industry segment, which is deeply impacted by COVID today, and because of which their ability to pay might have come down. But there are, if you notice, these companies are all finding ways to survive themselves. So they are working on alternate plan B, plan C kind of a service offering. For example, a company, so they are trying to work out with the COVID relevant service offerings. For example, the companies which are same, let us take the same textile garment example. I was talking about a textile company. The textile company is probably making shirts, t-shirts and garments and things like that for a company in France and Italy is what I was saying, for a fashion retailer there, because of which it got impacted. I was saying, right? What they have done, they have quickly switched over to producing masks, and they are now creating masks and exporting it globally. So if you go by the traditional intelligence, you would assume that this company, their 5 customers in Europe, in France and Italy, they have shut down their operations, because of which these guys are likely to shut down their operation or slow down their operation, because of which they will not pay. But if you are getting an external intelligence or an external information, if we are able to pull in, if there is a mechanism by which to crawl the web information about this particular customer of yours, and if you are able to pull out information saying that these guys have started manufacturing masks, and because of which they are actually they are not as bad as what we think they are, then we don't have to cut down the probability so badly. We can still go back to them and say that, boss, you're still surviving because your portfolio from a t-shirt, you have moved to mask, okay, but you have not shut down the operation. Can you still pay me? Because everybody will have to survive in this. This is an external intelligence which is required, where the recommendation is made by Athena based on looking at that data. So what BigTap helps in bringing that data. Athena helps in modeling this and giving you a recommendation. To answer your question, this is much better than the traditional BI what you get. Ganesh, to you.
Yeah. So technically, just quickly, 2 ways. One is, build versus buy. Obviously, you can have a data scientist. You can use any tools and build all that, or have an AI system like Athena to do that for you. Number one, from a technology side, you buy a tool, deploy a couple of people, get reports and dashboards and algorithms. That's one approach. The other is you buy or you hire Athena, you get that same thing. The second thing is, even after any BI tool you are mentioning, but somebody need to, the reports created, it's all available, but someone need to every day run. We have a customer, they're a large distributor, and they have 2,800 products, different products they were distributing. The vendor increased the price. On the sales side, they didn't increase the price. And every month they were missing out. This is a US-based company, close to like $50,000, just because of just a mistake. Like it's an oversight, because you can't look at the pricing of for every 2,400 items or 2,800 items every day. So that is where what we have done with Athena, looked at that and mapped to sales price and monitored and alert. Hey, Nick, you have 3 products which are negative margin, which are lower margin. So Nick, as a supply chain leader or a pricing analyst, Nick doesn't need to really worry about which report to run. Nick doesn't need to go run that report every day. And for Nick, it will simply come as an insight, which Athena monitor and tell in the morning, right? So that is kind of what we are talking about. It behind the scene, you call different technology, different algorithms, but as a business leader, I'm not going and running, rather I'm here. So now if I want, for example, I want my cash position, right? Let me ask my cash position by date for last, say, 30 days. I'm just asking this question, and Athena brought this information for me right now. And you know what I can do? I can look at this in whatever format I want, or I can also put it in a dashboard, or I can send it to my CFO right away, right? So I can just send it to Nick. Nick, take a look at it, right? This information. Whatever I'm looking at, I can right away do that. And if I know the cash position dropped on this day because of a particular reason, I can just go put this reason. Or if I don't know the reason, I can ask that person. I can share it and tell, hey, why on 2nd June, the margin or the cash position dropped? What caused this? Ask. Athena will tell you that why by drilling in, but there are always insights which is there in the human brain that also you can document. So now your CFO, your CEO, all your stakeholders, when they are looking at, they will know why the crop dropped like almost like 10 lakhs, how and why it dropped. If you can get that quickly and collaborate that fast, that's where the power comes in. And no, not that, right? If I ask that cash position, and Athena is telling, do you want cash position, AR, AP balance by day? It's an interesting chart. Let me look at it, right? So I have cash positions and AR and AP and all that. And not just for the current data, I can also expand this to the future dates. And then I can look at it in all different charts. And then, okay, how the chart's going, where I may need to focus on. And in just one click, I can suddenly change my view to supply chain, and I can just ask my revenue by customer. Like, let me ask my top 10 customers by revenue for last week. Let's see who's giving more revenue. There we go. In one click, I moved from a cash flow data to the supply chain data. And I have different set of insights here.
And you didn't have a developer to do this. Athena did this for you.
Exactly. Right?
And you didn't have a data warehouse to do it, and it directly reached out to the transaction systems and got this information.
So we have connected 4 within supply chain. There are maybe 5 different systems, and cash flow, finance, sales, all those 8 systems we spoke about is one click away. Just one click away. I think about the simplicity it brought.
No, it's phenomenal.
Right? So simplicity and the speed and as natural. Hey, what's my year-to-date revenue, right? I just want year-to-date revenue. I use year-to-date YTD. Okay, I want that. Let me get it by week, right? I want year-to-date by week. that's okay, what's happening, right? So that's kind of where you can go. So always the prediction is not only future, it's also about learning from the past, that if there is an erosion happening, I'll tell you, some of our customers, the insights which are there in the system, but not used now. We have few minutes. We would love to take questions. I know we have answered the questions so far. I know there are a few more questions, a little bit technical, about how long this will take. Yeah, I think initially we have answered. So it depends on the data readiness. You may have all this data ready, but you are doing reporting. Maybe it's 2 weeks. You don't have a data, especially external data, that may be like 6 weeks. So it depends on your data readiness. We have seen customers started using this like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks.
They can start small and keep growing as well.
Exactly.
I mean, you won't have all data in place. Probably you can start small, you can see the results and keep growing from there. I mean, you don't have to wait for a data warehouse to be completed, and then you have to get your analytics done, because it is you can directly connect your transaction system and get these reports done.
Yeah. So there was another question that can you ingest the GST invoice generation system along with QuickBook Oracle? Yes. See, most of the systems nowadays are giving access to the data through something called an API, and also the databases. We can connect to various different systems. If the system is an API driven, it can be real time. If the system is giving a database, it can be like 5 minutes lag, right? If the system is giving you only file, it may be 1 hour lag. We have seen companies up and running with 2 hours latent time for all these data. Of course, some data we should not report like that quickly. Some like every day we need to wait for. So that's something we have to look at it. Or the chatbot customizable. I'm not sure what does that mean. I would love to hear that a little bit more. Customizable. The whole thing is moment I connected with cash flow data, Athena is a finance person. The moment I connect to supply chain data, Athena is supply chain person. So the moment you ask a question, all these questions, by the way, it's not scripted. These are unscripted journey. You are asking a question, and that moment Athena is bringing that answer. And also based on what you are asking, what your team, everybody else is asking, Athena is bringing that information. So that's in a nutshell what we have to offer. Athena as a data scientist in your pocket, connect from multiple systems, get that visibility and control to manage your cash flow efficiently, right? And then moreover, just Athena is your employee, just talk to her, right? Talk to Athena and get insights, right? Collaborate with your team. And would love to chat more. Venkat?
Yeah, essentially, thank you very much. Essentially, it was a nice discussion. I hope it was useful for people. Essentially, if people, I mean, I'm sure some of you are interested in terms of taking this further. So here it is. If you can send it to info@bigtapanalytics.com, your interest, we can talk to you. We can even do a proof of concept to explore how ConverSight.ai can bring higher visibility and control to your cash flow. It may not be cash flow. We are talking about cash flow here. As Ganesh pointed out, it can be a supply chain area. It can be demand forecasting. It can be supply chain. It can be customer analytics. It can be revenue analysis. Whatever you want to do, we can do. It can be related to HR. It can be anything. Okay. So as Ganesh said, think of Athena as another employee in your organization, whom you can probably give an employee ID and hire her in your company and start asking her questions. So these are our contact points. Thank you again for your time, and we would love to be in touch with you. So send us the feedback, info@bigtapanalytics.com.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.